Hello, my dear friends. We're back on the beach. It's not Mexico. People would like you to think everybody's going to Mexico. Mexico's been around, people going there for 40 years. Maybe longer, huh? It's on the map. It's on the circuit again. Ram magazines named it the best place to retire. I see so many people making videos too that Mexico's already well established with tourism.
Lots.
And we're going to talk about Mexico and Salinas. Beach. I've made other videos where I said, you know, this is what I've learned. No matter what beach you go to, the sand's the same. The thing that's happening in Mexico, of course, where the tourism is established, you know, people on a budget. When you start talking about people on a budget, you're appealing to a much larger number of people. That's the thing. When I was talking about this on that other video about where I was showing the people, middle class and the incomes and all that, I don't know if it was in the video, Angie, but it said that people in a certain sphere of income a percentage is less. So there's only like 14% of people there are in the $100,000 a year range, and you know, and in this middle class range, there's more people, and I think that when you add it all up, the people on a budget are way larger percent of the population. So if you can appeal to people, you know, if you can make it sound like, listen, average Joe can do this. Right? This is why the Ram magazines always tout this number, $1,500 or less. Of course, after a couple of years of that, people start talking about $2,000 and $3,000. You know, that's just the natural progression of things. But back to Mexico, what happens is Mexico's mature. People have been going there, and so how do you do that in Mexico? Well, you find, just like anywhere else, little spots that have been hidden away from the tourism that just were kind of overlooked. You know, there were other places to go in the past. But now those places are no longer on the off the beaten path, and so what do? Well, you find these little nooks and crannies here and there. And then you just start promoting them like, hey, look here, look, you can live in Mexico on $900. But the reality is, would you really want to live in a little village with 2 restaurants? And, you know, even if it has 2 restaurants, it's not going to be Panera Bread and Cracker Barrel, you know? They're going to be hole in the walls.
You mean it won't be like Red Lobster?
Now, I eat in hole in the walls. This is not dissing that. I'm just saying, you know, not everybody wants to do that. But if you're on a budget, I guess that's who we're talking to. Or that's who Ram magazines are talking to, or that's who all these promoters and pumpers are talking to. You know, hey, you can come to Mexico and live on $900. How long is that going to last when you pump the same little village on the internet? And how many views do these videos get? And look at the comments. I mean, do your homework. Look at the comments. You see people saying, okay, I'm going to be there next month. So, and that's the thing. And so back to Salinas. I would say that Salinas is very well mature in its tourism. All of the beachfront. That's it. You can see it right there.
Well, that's Chapipi and then Salinas.
Well, on the right, if you split that in half, on the right you got Chapipi, and on the left is Salinas. And that's it. So it's like the Monopoly board. You know, there's only so many squares on the board. And so we do have information about rentals that we want to talk about. The differences in getting a rental in a foreign country and getting a rental in the States. In the States, things are very corporate. Now, there's a lot of small investors, thank goodness, in the States too. I have a friend that rented a pretty nice 2-bedroom, brand new remodeled with a nice yard in the Midwest, including utilities, for $600, and he's renting it from a private party. But generally speaking, if you get out into the small towns up there in the States, you're generally going to get away from most of the corporate stuff, a lot of it. And that would be my recommendation in the States. However, when you come abroad, you're going to be dealing just about almost 100%, or pretty close to it, with private parties. It's not corporate. And so what does that mean? Well, it means that systems aren't so written in stone. It's not so, oh, it has to be, this is company policy kind of thing. And so it comes down to your relationship and how you deal with people. And that's the thing. Americans, they have a different culture. And so there are things to know about it. There are ins and outs. I mean, if I wanted to get oodles and oodles of views, I would just put up these videos saying, hey, live here on $900 a month. Did we do that?
We've never done that.
And then never give you the ins and outs and the details. You know. But because we're service oriented and we just want to help people, and I realize some people don't want to be helped, and that's not for them. So we're talking about the people that are the majority, the larger percent of the population that this applies to, living on a budget, going abroad, living on less. Why? Because you can do it. There's way more people within that sphere, but there's a lot to know about it. Not everybody will be successful at it. Not everybody will be happy at it or content. There's kind of an idyllic, kind of a dream world, sort of, you know, and part of that is true. I mean, look, I'm on the beach. Talking about dealing with landlords, we certainly have oodles and oodles of experience with this. Local landlords, foreign landlords. We even wrote a little guide about it. If you go over there to the links at the bottom of the videos, you'll see there's a rental assistance. You can click on that. And while you're at it, check out some of the other things, the other courses we have for people to help people out. When you have insider knowledge and you've figured out people could be helped with it, you know, you want to make it available. So it's there for you. So sign up. Come back to the video. But back to the local landlords. Regardless of where you go, Mexico, Ecuador, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Panama, it doesn't matter, because you're going to be dealing with individuals. And foreign cultures are not the same as US cultures. They're different. I'm not saying one's better, one's worse. That's not it. There's just things to know. So we're going to continue this video in the Patreon section. Salinas video book, chapter 2. Let's continue talking a little bit about the housing. I just want to finish off what I started in chapter 1. When people go to the beach, they typically like to be in the first couple of rows. So there's a lot of hotels. There's a lot of new hotels. They're small hotels, usually maybe 3 floors or 4 floors up. And that's the thing I want you to know about them. They're nice hotels as far as that goes. There's older hotels too. So there's a new generation, newer, and then there's the older. But even the newer, you're not going to get like an elevator, you know. So I'll talk about the land here, and the landscape is that